Hey everybody, it's Rick again, your comic book scientist, hopefully your favorite comic book scientist. I'm just doing an example of me cleaning a Star Wars #1, the 35-cent variant. It's kind of fun to see it happen. This one doesn't get a lot cleaner. It's not a huge success story. There's no miracle here. Sometimes they're just not that dirty, and sometimes the soap just doesn't clean stuff off of them. So this is one time where it got a little better. You make up your own mind. I'm also going to show you some pictures here of one of my AF-15 books that I'm considering to clean first. A lot of these books have marble chipping, so you can't really rub on them with a pad or a Q-tip or anything. So these are some stains that I'm going to try to take off in a while here, but I have to learn a little bit more. I need some more marble chipping books to practice on. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Take care. Bye. This is my basic setup. So I have my press over here. I use a press that's not a clamshell kind. It goes straight up and down. I have 6061 aluminum plates, top and bottom. I have some silicone sheets. I have my cleaning solution here, which I get from using these makeup pads, and then I dab it on this and pump the solution up into the pad here like that. I have some swabs that I use, cotton swabs, and my tools are down here at the bottom. Got my scoop wheel, my staple remover. I've got these are my toluene solution, Absorbing. This is my cleaner that I use. One of these makes this is 250 milliliters, so one of these mixes up to make a liter. That's 4 doses of that stuff. And then here's the book, Star Wars #1. It's not really dirty even. It's wrinkled, it's not that bad. I probably honestly would steam and press this, but it's dark right here. You see that stuff? We need to get that junk out of there. And the back is also a little schmutzy. I might actually put this on a slant board and rinse it for a while. Get some of that stuff off of there. But I'm not really that invested in this book. I'm just going to do it really basically, not spend a lot of time on it. And so here I go. So I've got my light on here so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm not going to steam this book first. I've got my pad here, and I'm really just going to wipe it clean. And you'll see it doesn't all come off at once. So you have to kind of let it soak in for a while and then come back at it in, 30 seconds or so. And you'll see that it'll pick up quite a bit of stuff. So you can't, it's hard to tell how much while you're doing it, but when you see it later, it makes a big difference. So let's kind of wipe this up. Oh yeah, that's coming cleaner. And then one of the ways you can really tell is look at the actual pad, and you'll see how much dirt you're picking up. And if this were a really glossy cover, I wouldn't do it like this because it would not be as glossy. Remove some of that sheen, but it's not, it doesn't really make a difference. But you can see how much dirt I removed this way, and it makes a difference when you just do half of the cover, or you look at it before and after. It looks a lot better. And actually, it more than that, it's actually taking some of the sulfuric acid from the cellulose decomposition out of it. So there's the cover. Let's do the back page. I might use I'll use a new pad. And I'm just going to pump my solution here, wipe the back off. And this book's not going to look great. We'll do it several times and then it will look a lot better. We'll take an eraser to it. But you'll see that this is a great head start. It really, if you did nothing but this, it would actually look a lot better, but you would have to go through a nice, long dry clean to get with an eraser to get all the rest of the stuff off. But this really gives you a head start. I like it anyway. And yeah, it's coming. You can feel it too. You can kind of feel these sort of tough spots, and it just comes out. And then you can see how much, I don't know if you can see in this light, how much material I've removed from this book. If you go back and do this several times, it gets sort of looser and looser, and you can remove even more stuff. And you'll find that the whites especially is starting to look better. And that's it. So I'm now going to take some of these swabs and put them under the cover and let it air dry for about an hour. So it's really dry to the touch before I do any, if I do any heat pressing or steaming or anything. Then there's this part, which is the part that people ask about the most, but it seems pretty much like this information is everywhere out there. I take a piece of aluminum, it's hot, but it's 165 degrees because it's 35% humidity here. Today, if it was more humid, I would lower that temperature a little bit. If it was less humid, I can increase it. I just don't want the pages to stick together. So I'm going to 165. And now I'm going to put a piece of a silicone sheet underneath the book. And on the top part of the book, I am going to put a chamfered. This is a chamfered board. Chamfered means I've sanded this. It's a really thick board. It's very hard to bend. It's 56 point, but you see how I've sanded it down here. I'm going to put that under the front page here and tuck it in nice and tight. So it gives the spine a nice natural curve to it. Then I am going to put a piece of silicone sheet in between that cover and here, and I'm going to take another piece of silicone sheet that I bought and then put that on top here like this. Put the shiny side down, of course. Then I'm going to put one magazine size board so it's easy to fit around here. It just keeps me from putting any imperfections in my top aluminum on there. Top sheet, which has been pre-warmed. It's uncomfortable, but not killing me. And then I press this whole thing down. I should put a load cell in here and measure it, but I don't know the exact weight. I press it down, and I'm going to give it 600 seconds or 10 minutes, like this, once it reaches temperature. So it's dropped in temperature here. Once it gets back up to 165, I'll start my timer. And it's a heat sink, right? So it's pulling heat out of the system. And yeah, we'll see if you want to, while we're waiting, you can see some of there's my Amazing Spider-Man 347 original artwork up there, signed by Randy Emberlin. It's the Venom Island, and I've got some other artwork up here, Spidey stuff. And let's see, it's getting warmer now. So it gets back up to 165. I'm going to give it 600 seconds. And there we go. Timer started. We'll see what happens. So what's it look like when we're done? It's not great. It's cleaner than it was, but this is no superstar book. The biggest thing is going to be the reveal on the back where we see I just did half of it. So let's look. So we did, okay, you can see the difference. There's half of this cleaned here, and this half I did not clean, or not clean as much. So yeah, I could say you could definitely tell there. And then I also did the bottom right hand corner, and that is right, yeah, you can see this corner here. I can tell, I don't know if you guys can tell. Different, and then this other left corner is a little spot right there. Yeah, so you can see where I kind of stopped here to that little corner, and then especially up here. It's easier to tell in the white parts than the black, clearly. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. I mean, it's not great, of course. But there we are, Star Wars #1, 35-cent variant.